How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're going to take a look at specifically everything we know about Generation 10 of Pokemon as of right now, as of so far, basically. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get started. But the first place we're going to check out is going to be PokeOS. Now, PokeOS is a great website that compiles a lot of information and has just everything you could ask for. They have a database filled with info. They have a bunch of tools. They have a bunch of games. They have everything that you can, like, any information about Pokemon, they have it. And they have a giant post here about everything we know about Generation 10 Project Gaia so far. It's a giant recap of all the leaks. It is missing some stuff, I will say, but I will mention those things myself when we get to them. So let's get started. Everything we know so far about the region, lore, gameplay mechanics, and forums. Of course, this section contains leaked information, so keep in mind, guys, take all this with a grain of salt. It is possible a lot of this stuff could be either false, could be changed, or could be not in the game anymore, right? Like, it could be that, like, something that's mentioned in this list might actually be changed now, so just keep that in mind. So, let's get started. First things first, the initial leak background. Back in late October 2024, the leaker known as a Game Freak Out shared a screenshot from Nintendo's internal development platform, revealing two test build dates, two dates for test builds dated as September 15, 2023, Gaia K test and Gaia N test. K and N potentially being the actual names of the game. So, you know, K maybe, like, again, we're going to go into some of the concepts of what it could be. Like right here, you can see K could be for Kaze, which means wind, and N could be for Nami, which means wave. But basically, there were two tests that had actually been uploaded. This means that he had access to these builds. He actually downloaded these builds. Now, these builds clearly represent an early test version of upcoming Generation 10 Pokemon games. Gaia is the project codename, with two distinct versions labeled as K and N. Now, based on hints released related to the Japanese words for wind, which is Kaze, and wave, which is Nami, the most speculated names for the games are Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Wave, or Winds and Waves. Pokemon with Gaia K being Kaze, which is wind, Gaia N being Nami, which is wave. You can also read more about this in the dedicated Terra Leak section, which we do have an entire, like, you know, page for that in case you're curious about everything to do with, you know, with the Terra Leaks. They have an giant post with everything. And again, I might do videos going through all of this separately at some point, but, you know, we're going to get to that eventually. For now, though, we're focusing on specifically Generation 10. So, they say, recent leaks provided by user Moot, historically reliable for anime-related leaks, stem from a recent post-Nintendo Direct meeting regarding Nintendo Switch 2, involving Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, TV Tokyo, merchandise teams, and an animation studio, OLM. These details are preliminary and subject to change. So apparently, what he's talking about here is that the user Moot, or what they're mentioning here is that Moot, which is a leaker specifically for the anime side of Pokemon, and he's also a community member, he specifically leaked, like, something along the lines of, how would I even explain this? Like, he leaked things, alongside of a meeting happening, right? Like, there's basically a meeting between all these companies of Pokemon, and together they've been talking about, like, what they're going to be doing going forward for Pokemon as a franchise. So recent leaks that he's provided are from that meeting, at least as far as we're aware. Now, the next thing, though, is a leak about the region overview. So a leak hint from a well-known leaker, Ball Guy, suggested that Generation 10 region is inspired by the Greek islands in the Aegean Sea. The provided image from Google Maps showed a section of these islands rotated 90 westwards, similar to the inverted UK map used for the Galar region, which, yes, you can see right here, sort of what that would look like, which, yeah, it looks just about right. So, again, the idea of the game and the actual region being based on Greece is what they're trying to sort of imply here. And again, there is the source from Ball Guy here, which is great that they include the sources. Here is him, it just says, just rotate, which is him implying, you know, like, this is it, just rotate it the other way, and you'll see what the region will look like. So, there you go. They also say past Terra Leak transcripts already mentioned this island-themed region concept, summarized as following. And this is, again, referring to back to this, like, giant leak that happened, is that the Terra Leaker was able to figure out from some of the emails that apparently, and we can also read those emails, there's a full transcript right here, which we can check out, which includes conversations between the people at Game Freak and the people at the animation studio. But basically, in that conversation, they mentioned multiple islands with distinct environments, progression achieved by exploring islands, unique Pokemon adapted to each island, legendary legendary Pokemon significantly shaping each island's environment currently, and the region's name remains unknown. So that's an aspect we do not know. But basically what they're saying is that there's going to be multiple islands. Each island is going to be the way we progress the actual story is by exploring them. Unique Pokemon will be on each island that will actually have adapted to the environment, or the island will have adapted to their environment, like vice versa. So for example, Charmeleons may have caused an entire island to just be ash and dust. Nothing is left because they burnt down all the trees. Or vice versa, maybe another island, you have, I don't know, Caterpies that now turn purple because the fruits are purple, just like the pink fruits from like the Orange Island season of Pokemon, if you guys may remember. And then, of course, the fact that the legendary Pokemon are significantly going to be actually influencing each island, because yes, there's supposed to be some brand new legendaries that are the level of gods, essentially, is what they're implying, or have implied. So, let's get into exactly that. The first thing is Majin, which is a divine entities. The region's lore revolves around mysterious divine beings known as Majins. It's currently unknown whether Majins are actually Pokemon or extra-dimensional entities or divine or from a divine origin. So basically, we do not know what the Majins are. Are they actually Pokemon? Are they aliens? It's been implied they could be aliens. Or are they of a divine origin? Are they gods? Like, are they of a god level? What has been confirmed is that each Majins governs or influences one of the region's islands, shaping its climate, terrain, and ecological diversity. The presence of Majin explains why a region composed of tropical islands may still feature snowy peaks or volcanic wastelands. The natural environment is warped by each entity's or deity's influence, which is, yes, like, let's say if one of the islands has snow on it, because there's going to be, of course, one, if there's one with snow on it, how would you explain snow in a tropical environment? It wouldn't really make sense, would it, right? If you take any tropical island, very doubtful, even if they have a big, like, you know, mountain on it, they don't really have snow oftentimes. There's probably some example out there that I'm missing that probably does exist, but generally speaking, not really that often, right? Like islands, especially archipelagos that are generally based on warm areas, don't have that. So how would you explain it? Oh, it's because there's gods there. So you can have like one area that can be a desert. How do you explain the desert? Oh, it's because it's one of these Majins that change the environment. Oh, there's snow. That's why there's a Majin. So it makes sense. The presence of Majins would then explain why a region composed of tropical islands may still feature snowy peaks or volcanic wastelands. The natural environment is warped by each deity's influence. But however, not all Majins are benevolent, aka not all of them are going to be good guys. They might be evil. The most notable among them is a leader codenamed Diabolos, said to have sparked a war after rebelling against their original purpose. So potentially one of them might be literally, I mean, Diablo is literally the devil, so Diabolos, I mean, come on, codename Diabolos, my guy's literally the devil. But either way, did you know the term Majin is Japanese, which is composed of Ma, demon, evil spirit, or magic, Jin, or a kami, which is a god or a deity. Thus, Majin translates roughly as demonic deity or divine spirit or a powerful supernatural entity. However, the term does not always imply negative connotations, often simply just denoting a powerful supernatural being situated between a god and a demon. So something in between a god and a demon or an evil creature. So there you go. Now, Majins were originally created to serve humans, but rebelled, causing a war. According to leaks, there are around 12 to 13 Majins, aligning with the number of main islands in the region. Key points: the Majins are divine beings tied to each island. They influence climate and the environment, and one major Majin, Diabolos, is said to be the leader of the Majins. The total number of Majins is expected to be 12 to 13, so that's the key points, in case you're curious. But there you go. So, that's only the start of it, because there's more to these things, which is the vessels. See, these are Pokemon that are controlled by the Majins. We've spoken about this in some previous videos, but vessels are Pokemon that act as a conduit for the power of a Majin. Now, these Pokemon are not Majins themselves, but become hosts to their divine influence, resulting essentially in a significant enhancement in power and presence. However, these are not full transformations. See, their physical design generally is going to remain unchanged, aside from a divine aura and significant, like slight, coloration changes potentially. I do think I have heard of potentially something kind of like mega styled, where the design might change a bit. But again, during an internal presentation, concept art showed a legendary or mythical Pokemon under Diabolos' control, radiating with supernatural energy and surrounded by a visible aura. This empowered form allows the Pokemon to perform divine level attacks, exert control over the environment, and wield abilities inaccessible to normal Pokemon. Now, these vessels are often at the center of natural and environmental phenomena, serving as living embodiments of the Majin's will and power. Now, the key points, of course, being the vessels are Pokemon possessed or blessed by Majins, gain extreme power and alternate appearance. So, basically, these will be Pokemon of sorts that will, I guess, have essentially be, like they said, like conduits for the power of the Majins, right? Can control the environment and access exclusive abilities. Do not undergo major design changes, only gain aura and slight color variants. And then we have Apotheosis. Now, this is supposed to be a new gameplay mechanic, or Apostles is what they call these as well. Now, the code name for the Generation 10 battle gimmick is Apotheosis. This mechanic introduces a new item called Divine Sigils, special tools that can be equipped by any Pokemon. Now, each sigil is associated with a specific Majin, and equipping one grants the Pokemon a unique blessing that alters its abilities or boosts its stats in a way determined by the chosen deity, right? Now, interestingly, this seems to confirm a long-standing rumor among leakers. For months, there have been a speculation about a new gimmick tied to the praying hands emoji, which yet that comes from Riddler Coup, because he posted that and then referenced Generation 10, a symbol interpreted as representing divine blessings. Apotheosis aligns perfectly with that theme, framing the mechanic as a form of sacred empowerment. Now, there are multiple divine sigils, one for each Majin, and players will be able to choose which Majin to align a Pokemon with in battle. This opens up strategic customization options depending on the Majin's nature and traits. The same Pokemon can receive very different enhancements, such as a type boost, status immunities, or even ability changes. Importantly, though, like Mega Evolution, a Pokemon equipped with a Divine Sigil cannot hold any other item in battle. The sigil occupies the held item slot and is essential for triggering the transformation. So yes, it's going to be an equipped item, essentially. So, when activated, the Apotheosis transformation plays out with a dramatic animation. Dark clouds gather, a vortex forms around the Pokemon, and Divine Bolt of Lightning strikes down, blessing the creature. Now, this visual is reminiscent of the cutscene seen in Pokemon Legends Arceus, where the noble Pokemon were struck by lightning from dark clouds, possibly implying divine influence. So it's going to be something similar to that. Now, some Pokemon will receive standard boosts when using Apotheosis, but a select few, yes, the ones called the Apostles, will gain exclusive new forms. For more on those, see the next section. Yes, there will be certain Pokemon. Keep that in mind. There will be certain Pokemon that will get special forms, and that's the ones that are referred to as the Apostles. They'll get custom designs, right? Now, key point. Every Pokemon can equip a Divine Sigil and activate Apotheosis. So yes, this new feature, Apotheosis, which it's going to have a different name, obviously, but that's just what they're referring to it here. The Apotheosis feature will essentially be kind of like, I guess, Z-moves slash Terrastall, a temporary boost, or sorry, like a boost of, power, I guess. And it's going to be available to every Pokemon, just like Terrestrialization. That's the big and first thing you have to know. And it's an equipable item. 2, only some Pokemon will receive form changes. These are known as Apostles. Each sigil is tied to a specific Majin, so you can only get the power of a specific god, not just an overall power. Sigils replace held items, just like Megastones do, and transformation involves a striking cinematic tied to divine power. So that's that. Then we go over to the Apostles themselves, like the ones with special forms and all that kind of stuff. Now, while all Pokemon can benefit from Apotheosis, Apostles are special species that have a deeper connection with a specific Majin. When equipped with their Divine Sigil, these Pokemon not only receive boosts, but undergo full visual form changes similar to Mega Evolution. Now, these forms are unique to each Apostle and reflect the traits or iconography of the Majin they're bound to. So, some may gain elemental motifs, visual accessories, or even mythical aesthetics, right? During the Game Freak meeting, several Apostles were discussed. Moot has been slowly revealing these Pokemon through clues on X or Twitter and Discord, giving only the first letter and the generation of each Pokemon. This has led to speculation and educated guesses regarding which Pokemon are being referenced. So we can take a look at the list right here. He mentioned specifically confirmed via concept art shown. So these are Pokemon that are confirmed to be getting Apostle forms. And the ones that are basically like on the top here are the ones that we know for a fact. So Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Gallade, and Gardevoir. Those 4 will pretty much guaranteed be getting it based on this. Then we also have potentially could be either any of these like 6 right here. So it could be Muk, could be Machamp, could be Mr. Mime, Marowak, Mewtwo, Mew, could be any of them. Druddigon is also a potential one because you guys can see for Gen 5, it's D, so it's Druddigon, Darmanitan, Durant. You could then for Gen 7, it could be, Komodo, it could be Komala, it could be Kartana, it could be really like any of them. Also, there's going to be a new Gen 10 monkey-like Pokemon with multiple forms, which also might be showing up. So there's that. That's another one that might be getting a confirmed form. So there's that. But then there's also 24 Apostles that are under consideration. These are considered. They might do them, but they haven't confirmed it yet. You've got in this list 24. So you got Wobbuffet, you got Flygon, Keldeo. I forget the name of this big thing right here. This is what is this? Oh my god, I forget the name of it. Tinkaton, geez. Sorry, early in the morning still. My brain is not braining at the moment, so there you go. But yeah, you got Tinkaton, you got Klefki, And then, of course, you have a few more Pokemon at the bottom. You guys can, of course, pause the video right here if you want to look through all the Pokemon that potentially... Now, keep in mind, like, he lists here, like, a Pokemon, you know, one Pokemon out of each of these, like, specific, like, letters. So, all you're seeing here is one of these Pokemon. Not all of them. One of them might be getting it. And then here, same thing. One of these might get it. Same thing here. One of them might get it. So, you can just pause the video here if you want to look through every single one of them individually. And there we go. Let's move on to the next one. So... This is 41 potential apostles. So these are essentially Pokemon that potentially will get it. There's no guarantees for these. These are not really under consideration. They've just been mentioned during that meeting. So notable examples in this pool include, of course, Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, Tyranitar. You got loads of stuff as well. You got Kingdra, you got Minimpulsor, you got Regice, Regirock, Registeel, Lucario, Manaphy, Phione are potentially in there. Talonflame, apparently. Tyrantrum, you got Trevenant, you got, like, a lot of variety of Pokemon, essentially. You even have, like, freaking Incineroar is in there. Ceruledge, Armarouge, Blacephalon of all things, Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon are also on there, so you got those as well. And yeah, basically, a lot of these are potential ones. Now, key points. Apostles are Pokemon that change form via apotheosis. They require the correct sigil of their corresponding Majin, and designs reflect divine influence and may resemble mythological beings. So there you go. Next up, 120 plus new Pokemon. So according to leaks, Game Freak aims to introduce around 120 new Pokemon, which likely includes standard species and regional forms. Around 70 designs are reportedly in final development stages, indicating the game's Pokedex is nearing completion. The vessels mentioned earlier are not included in the count of 120, meaning the final total of new designs could approach 150 when including the legendary or special forms. The first leaked Gen 10 Pokemon is the Apostle codenamed A10, a monkey-like species designed very early in development process. Uniquely, it is said to be affiliated with multiple Majins, making it the symbolic mascot or poster Pokemon of the apotheosis mechanic. As such, it will have multiple distinct forms, each representing a different divine blessing. Interestingly, some fans speculate it may be linked to the unknown Pokemon silhouette seen in the Scarlet and Violet book. You guys may remember this monkey design that was in the bottom here and never actually showed up. We thought it was going to be in a DLC, but it wasn't. So it is possible that could be the monkey we're going to be seeing in this game, which means, man, we're getting a lot of gorilla monkey Pokemon. I do wonder if this gorilla Pokemon can beat 100 dudes. It would be crazy if it could. Though, this is unconfirmed or it may just be a coincidence. Now, starter Pokemon designs were presented in prior meetings, though details remain unrevealed because the source apparently was not part of that specific meeting. The box legendaries were also mentioned, but reportedly not involved in the lore of the Majin or the apotheosis gimmick. So basically, the actual main legendaries have nothing to do with those Majins, which would be kind of interesting to see why they would do that. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big post. Like I said, I freaking love PokeOS. They put together a really good like set of lists like this, which are really, really useful because they kind of combine everything into a nice, neat little place where you guys can read all of it. So definitely check out PokeOS. Please do. They're a great website. Great people over there too. The developers are fantastic. So definitely give them some love. Give them some appreciation because they do so much work, man, to put into this website. So definitely give them a shot. But also, let me know what you guys think about all this. This is pretty much what we know as of now. More stuff will be added to this website. And of course, there is stuff, like the full transcript. We already read this a few times, and there's also like way more like posts that we can check out that go into more detail about like even more stuff in regards to this. So just keep that in mind. We will make more videos throughout this month and leading into like the next few months until Legend ZA drops, because ZA is still on the horizon. I will be doing another video as well where we're going to talk about everything we know about ZA. So stay tuned for that one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.